one light tank, or two light tanks, excuse me, and one tier 2 artillery.
We're actually going for the exact same setup as the opening set.
Yeah, yeah.
That actually took place on Abbey.
Yep.
It's actually exactly the same setup. So when it comes to SPG, Armed and Dangerous opting really strangely enough for that Bison tier 2, while the Fatigue Bell is still going on with that Panther that brought them so much damage actually during the opening set. Now we've got two T-62s on the Fatigue Bell side.
And actually it looks like, and a nice firefight coming out here in the central area right now.
Yes, indeed.
They're both rushing that hill, and this Armed and Dangerous
completely
team.
being chased down, actually. Armed and Dangerous, like, running for their lives right now.
Yep. And actually, I believe the Fatigue Bale team, actually, they prefer mobility over just straight up firepower.
I mean, that's so far that's what we've seen. And Armed and Dangerous with down one scout right now. One of their T1s, player Arky, was taken out courtesy of a player Strange, TW, and his T69.
Actually, this tank's going to go down right now.
Yes.
First blood going. Actually, each team losing one tank apiece.
Yeah, indeed.
So they will lose a little bit of vision, but I believe the Fatigue...
A slight advantage to the Armed and Dangerous side, because the PZ tank tier 3 was taken out on the Fatigue Bale side, but it's not going to amount for that much.
Yeah, I mean, comparing a tier 8 to a tier 3 is like comparing a baby to an adult, right? It's
exactly.
There's not much they can do.
Here, player Faratia. Vantage point. Now we switch to player Strange on the Armed and Dangerous side.
Yep, and the Fatigue Bale team just kind of still in that same area, in that middle hill area. Both teams actually kind of camping in the area as well. So
yeah, well, Fatigue Bale taking pretty much control of that hilltop.
Yep.
At the middle, so that might prove crucial. And once again, Armed and Dangerous, big surprise, just sitting there, up north.
Yep, so they actually, most of their tanks are just actually camping at the base of the hill. They don't want to push out into the hill just yet. They have one tank kind of up there, but most of their tanks are just really sitting back.
Well, when it comes to tactics and strategy, Armed and Dangerous obviously opting for the patient sit, trying to lure their opponents into ambushes, which obviously they've rehearsed quite a bit on each and every single one of these maps, while Fatigue Bale with a much more versatile approach, I don't want to call it offensive, but sort of keeping their options open and counting more on individual skill, pretty much, and micro to overcome their opponents. And right here, player Hank.
Yep, actually spotting two of the enemy tanks.
Yep. Well, I mean, they know where it's coming from right now, because, Fatigue Bale, by now, they kind of realized, okay, you know what, unless we rush those people, they're just going to wait camped out on their, pretty much, and try to ambush us, like, towards their starting point.
Yeah,
another brilliant shot here.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done. That was courtesy of an MX-13 tier 8 light tank, actually, player Faratia. Taking out the enemy artillery.
Yeah, and I really don't know what the Armed and Dangerous team are planning to do with that tier 2 piece
with that Bison,
artillery.
Exactly. I mean, so what possible damage? Even if you get a shot, let us say that you get a crack at one of those AMX-50s, for instance. What possible damage can you do?
You'll probably do 1% at most.
So what is the point of taking a Bison? I mean, just I'm still like sort of pondering about that, taking scouts, but then like you've got T-32s for that.
Yep.
You've got AMX-50s for that. Like, do you really need that a Bison?
Tier 2,
exactly, a piece of artillery. I'd rather go for an extra scout.
Yeah, exactly. It could be part of the strategy. They could be targeting those tier 1 scouts on the opposing.
Well, exactly, because they're camping. Team. So that's the only option they can think of, pretty much. Okay, like with that Bison. Okay, if maybe taking out those T1s, but outside of that, what use is it going to be against the tier 8 heavy tanks, or even tier 8 medium tanks for that matter?
Even light tanks,
even light tanks, exactly. Like you just barely like scratch them.
Exactly.
It's laughable. It's like attacking a tank with pretty much a slingshot.
Yeah. With like a spaghetti stick, just slapping.
No, it's just
armor.
Once again a pretty strange kind of tank selection on that front. And now once again, Armed and Dangerous just camping.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Camping
As expected, still
camping. So we're down to 5 minutes here on the clock. So a good 5 minutes still left, and so far, Well, as we've seen in the opening set on Abbey, Fatigue Bell's not the style to just wait, pretty much.
Yeah,
So,
so
something tells me they're going to attempt something. Now, right now, they're pretty well camped out as well. They do have advantage in terms of position because they have squatted that hilltop. But, of course, Armed and Dangerous are not going to make the push.
Exactly.
So, it's pretty much down to Fatigue Bell to come up with a strategy. Now, they're actually moving out. Perhaps they will go for a western flank through that island, but that's a risky move as well because right now Armed and Dangerous are very well placed out strategically speaking. They're covering the entries to their base really well.
Actually they're slightly pushing out right here. The Fatigue Bell team slowly pushing out onto the Armed and Dangerous.
They're trying to get a peek, and if that Panther can get a shot at one of those two T-32s or AMX-50s, then they will go for the push.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just it's going to depend on that piece of artillery. A lot of it's going to depend on the Panther, pretty much. So player Erica once again has got a lot of responsibility on the Fatigue Bell side.
Yeah, and the reason why the Fatigue Bell team is so hesitant to push out so aggressively is because on the opposing Armed and Dangerous team, they have 4 heavy tanks.
They can't afford to push out like that. I mean, they're completely outgunned when you think about it. Right now, they only have 1 AMX-50, and the rest of it is just like, well, you got two T-69s. If they had 3 T-69s, maybe they could go for it, but with that AMX-13, it's just not going to work out. Yeah.
So they're definitely outgunned here. Ooh, and a nice shot coming out on the Fatigue Bell team, taking this T-32, which is played by the ARC, down to 50%.
Yep, that was a sneaky shot. They just want to take at least one of those heavy tanks down before making the move.
They really want to take out at least one of these heavy tanks, because if they don't... Oh, and a nice shot coming onto Haiku.
Faratea getting a nice sneak shot here.
Yep. They are slowly pushing out onto the Armed and Dangerous team. And actually, the Armed and Dangerous team is responding to this by backing out.
Yeah, indeed. They're just... oh, actually, they're going in right now, as a matter of fact.
Yep. So
they're trying to go for a surrounding maneuver here. Wilson Cormac here just doing a breathing job. Almost.
He almost had it in the face, and actually Haiku also gets taken out.
Yes, indeed. Almost had it. It was brilliantly done. There was a gutsy move once again coming from the T-69. Unfortunately, he was taken out. Now we're down to 3 heavy tanks, 2 MX-50s, and 1 T-32.
Yep, and finally that 1 Tier 7 light tank also on the Armed and Dangerous team. Looking at the opposing team, the Fatigue Bell team have 1 AMX-50 heavy tank, 1 light AMX-13, 1 medium T-69, 1 Tier 6 GW Panther, and last but not least...
Well, yeah, the Panther obviously not able to do much here because, well, the piece of artillery, like, it cannot do much simply because there's a little too much cover on the northern starting point. And, yeah, the Armed and Dangerous side is definitely not taking any chances whatsoever.
Oh, actually, Fatigue Bell going for a sneaky base capture.
Yeah, they are.
It might be a little bit too dangerous because he's out there alone. Yep. So he is trying to capture this base, and the Armed and Dangerous are trying to pull back just a little bit.
So yeah, going for that base capture. Faratea, as a matter of fact, and yes, we've got player R123 as well, who's going for the capture.
Yep. Well, actually, excuse me, they have 2 tanks over there.
Yeah.
So, is that 3?
No, they got actually 3 tanks. And so right now, yeah, the basically from Armed and Dangerous, they're gonna have to. Well, they're actually regrouping because they realize, well, you know, we got to do something about this right now. I don't think they're gonna have the time to, though.
Yeah, actually, almost 80 points left on that capture. 15 points left, 10 points left. It looks like this game might go to Fatigue Bell, and it will go to Fatigue Bell.
Yes, definitely.
Great play coming out.